What's up, BoingVERT fans and members? How's it going? So we're going to do something new with BoingVERT videos. Every week we're going to put out a 3-part series. We're trying to find something that really can help you guys. So it's going to be not a 3-part series. It's going to be one video with 3 parts to it, I should say. So let's just get into it. The first part's going to be something that's going to help you jump higher. We're going to look at a study here, and I'll paste just the abstract up. And it's really fascinating because we get a ton of emails, people saying, hey, is there anything I can take to jump higher? Well, we did a ton of research about a year ago, and we developed a creatine product. Now, why did we develop a creatine product? Not just to make more money. We developed it because there are a ton of studies that show that creatine really helps improve vertical jump. So there was a study by some guys in the International Journal of Sports Physiology and Performance from 2011. And we'll look at more of these as time goes on. And they wanted to find out if creatine helps with volleyball players jumping higher. Now, if you've ever watched volleyball players jump, some of those guys, I think, jump higher than some of the best dunkers. Go watch a YouTube clip of those guys. It's crazy. To make a long story short, they found that taking creatine helped improve vertical jump. More specifically, they took these high-level volleyball players and they split them into 2 groups. They gave one group creatine and they gave the other group something that looked like creatine but wasn't. So all the volleyball players took a supplement. Some were getting the real thing and some weren't. And the reason they do that is so they can test, okay, here's the guys we know are getting the real creatine supplement. Here's the guys we know that aren't getting it. Let's follow them and see what happens. So we know it's not just a guy's taking a supplement and he believes he's jumping higher. We want to know if it's actually the supplement working. So it was they followed traditional experimental protocol. At any rate, the findings suggest that without changing anything else over a 28-day period, the athletes improve their vertical jump. And around a 3% increase in vert. Now that's important. Doesn't sound like a lot, 3%. But they didn't change anything else. These guys were just doing what they were doing, and the creatine alone increased vert. So we have other studies, and we'll do this later, that if you're actually working on increasing your vert and taking creatine, it improves your vertical jump even more. I want to add one more thing, which is very important. A lot of you guys also email us and say, hey, what about in season? Can I do the program in season? Well, according to this study, it says, hence, the present findings suggest that creatine could potentially offer a competitive advantage for elite volleyball players during a volleyball match. So it's going to help when you're actually competing, and it's going to help as you go through the season. Remember, these players did nothing else. They were actually just competing. They were going through their season, taking creatine, and their verticals increased. So that's important too, okay? You want to take something that's going to help your muscles recover. It's going to help you actually improve, even though your body's getting worn down by the wear and tear of working out and competing throughout the season. So that's the first part of this BoingVERT podcast. We'll try to do it every week. Let's go to the second part, a little motivation. Part 2 of the weekly BoingVERT, let's call it a podcast. What I want to talk about today is something I talked about on my other channel, my personal channel. I'll put the link below. And it's this: no more excuses. You know, I'm getting a little bit older, and I swear I would never do this. But when I was younger, I used to play with older guys, and they always made these excuses constantly. They were always like, I haven't played in so long. I'm out of shape. I just got a new pair of shorts. They don't fit right. That's why I'm playing so bad. I was sick last week. I've been working so much. And I swore I would never do that. But then I caught myself doing it. I was going to play with these young guys. I'm like, I haven't played in a while. You know, I played a lot last week. I'm still sore. It's been a long work day. I've been up since 5 a.m. And I caught myself doing it. I thought, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. Don't do that. And I talk to a lot of young guys. I can see they come in the gym before the game and they'll start saying, oh, I kind of tweaked my hamstring last week. I kind of rolled my ankle a little bit. I have been a little bit under the weather. And it's not that these can't be legitimate excuses. And look, you can be legitimately hurt. There's no doubt about it. but still just don't play. Don't tell your coach, tell the trainer. You don't have to make excuses, because really what you're doing, in the event that you play poorly, you want to have an excuse. So you're telling people around you, and you're also lying to yourself. Be honest. You're starting to make excuses, so if you play bad, you have something to fall back on. Let all of that go. You got to let that go. You have got to just go into it, go full bore, and never talk about it. It's really interesting when LeBron and Kyrie beat Steph Curry in the NBA Finals, and the Golden State Warriors, of course, not just Steph. Steph was banged up. I think everybody on the team knew it. Most of the fans knew it, but he never talked about it. He never really mentioned it. I think one time in an interview, he kind of said I was a little banged up, but he never really used it as an excuse. Other people might make an excuse for you, but you shouldn't. Either way, you just got to go for it, and if you're on the court, you're healthy enough to play. And never make an excuse. You got to stop it. You're not sore. You're not tired. You didn't have a long night. There's not some tragedy in your personal life. I've heard it all. It's not new shoes. There's so many excuses you can make, so something to think about. Make sure you're making no excuses for why you'll miss a workout. Oh, I'm just so tired. I've had a long day. I deserve to skip a workout. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're better than that. Get in the gym and do it. We're all in this together. Everybody listening to this. Me, you, we're all competitors. We're all people who want to max out our potential. So I'm holding you accountable. You guys hold me accountable. Let's make sure we stop making excuses. And let's now go to part 3 of this BoingVERT Weekly podcast, where we look at an old dunk that's been forgotten. Welcome to part 3. This is going to be really fun. What we're going to watch right here is the famous Michael Jordan dunk, Is He Big Enough? This is one that's been forgotten by especially you young guys, may not know about it. So Michael Jordan comes down. There's a guy in the stands just all over Jordan, and he has Stockton on him. Jordan turns, dunks, and there's a guy in the stands yelling, why don't you dunk on somebody your own size? Instead of dunking on little John Stockton, little baby John Stockton. So Jordan hears this. And Jordan's the type of guy that's going to pay attention to what you're saying. Look, you can see it here. Stockton goes for the steal, bad move, MJ, dunk, and the guy's yelling at him. So this is literally the next time down the floor after Stockton makes these free throws. Jordan, guess what? Jordan's going to get his revenge. He's really going to get his revenge, and he's going to stick it to the guy in the stands. So this is classic MJ. Let's watch. Jordan comes down, dunks on a 7-footer. Now watch. He looks in the stands. Was he big enough? So Jordan says, was he big enough? Paying attention to the guy in the stands, coming back and talking trash. That's an old school dunk. Let's watch it just a few more times. The big dunk right here. Was he big enough? I mean, Jordan's just the most graceful athlete I've ever seen. That's awesome. You can read his lips too. Was he big enough? Now, what's really interesting and what a lot of people don't know is when Jordan hit the shot on Elo, there was a guy talking to him the whole time in the stands, telling Jordan he's going to go home. So when Jordan's up there pumping his fist, going crazy, he's mad at the guy in the stands. That's why he's so furious after making that shot. And it's really interesting. Now, what's fascinating about trash talk is you hear that when it happened, the game has to still naturally evolve. And Jordan was a master at that. Now, if Jordan hadn't dunked on the big guy, if it hadn't, he just would have said nothing to the guy. But it worked out in his favor, So that's an oldie but a goodie. And what I want you to think about to close this out is what it would feel like. Somebody talking trash to you and you go up and dunk on them. Or maybe you just add enough to your vert where you do a crazy layup on them. Or maybe you add enough to your vert where you block the hell out of somebody who's been talking trash to you. Think about that. Anyways, that's why we make BoingVERT, to give you those chances at those moments, to feel powerful, to feel dominant. I used to be young. I used to be you guys. And getting a big block, pinning a shot against the glass, you don't have to always dunk. Just having a great layup. Everybody wants to dunk, and that's what we pride ourselves on. We create dunkers. But there's also something about just being more athletic, to know you can compete with some better athletes. And maybe have a show of domination that pumps you up. This is Dylan from BoingVERT. I'm the CEO. Go to BoingVERT.com. We have Boing Team there. There's a link below for that. Get the program. We're here to help. We have great customer service. Whatever you need, we got your back. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.